Welcome to Confessions by Banana Ketchup. The old lady in the other side of the hall. So this happened in 2010. I was 13 back then. We moved to that house when I was 9. Everyone in the neighborhood remembered the people who lived there, but since we were new there, we never really had any information because people didn't interact with us a lot. So I met some kids that lived near my house and we started to go out and play. One day, a kid told me that in my house used to live an old lady who died of cancer. She was really nice. She had a grandson that used to play with the kids I was playing. So that happened. I used to feel weird things at times, but didn't really pay attention to them. So we are back in 2010. It was raining. I was trying to sleep. We had a double-deck bed. I slept on top and my grandma slept in the other bed. We always kept the lights of the hall on. And that night, the door of our room was open. I heard our birds making a lot of noise. We had 2 Australian parrots. I mean, they usually make a lot of noise when they are hungry, but it was too late and it was weird that they were awake. I just tried to close my eyes and they kept on and on. There were constant lightning strikes and I was a little freaked out. So I opened my eyes and looked at the hall where I could see part of the couch and the door that lead to the kitchen where our parrots were. In that moment, I freeze completely. I saw a human figure, not transparent or anything. It looked like a normal person, of a woman wearing grey sweatpants and a beige sweater, looked like wool. She was holding a sort of sewing thread in her hands and seemed to me that she moved the sewing thread as if she was winding it. I knew that woman was not my grandma nor my mom, because it was hot, we were in summer. They wouldn't be wearing that. Plus, I would have heard the door of my mom's room if she went out and my grandma was sleeping in her bed down mine. I was really freaked out, but for a few seconds I kept looking at the woman and realized I only could see her body, not her feet or her head. So I closed my eyes and tried to sleep, and I felt she was coming to me. I was crying and tried to not make any sound. I told my family, and my grandma ordered a mass to be held in the church for her soul so she could rest. I couldn't stay alone in the house for years. Then one day I was alone in the house and I heard someone in the living room. I was taking a shower, so I asked who's there, and I put on my towel to go and check the door. My bike was in the garage. The gates were moving from one side to the other as if it were open too quickly. It turned out a burglar broke into the house to take my bike, which was inside the living room, and somehow he just ran away. I mean, I was alone in the shower naked. He could have abused me, killed me, whatever he wanted. I felt kind of protected by that lady. Many years after that, I talked to my dad, who lived there with me and my mom for a few years before they divorced, and he told me the lady who used to live there had terminal cancer and her son took care of her. In her last months of life, they turned the living room into her bedroom, so if anything happened to her, they would be able to get her out quickly, and said she was a really nice lady who loved her family. Thank you, SilentfunO, the author. There's a shadowy figure roaming my hallway, and I think my adopted cat is sensing it. Please help. I, female 24, moved into a new home about a year ago. I'm renting it, and I live on my own. I'm used to living on my own, and I'm fairly independent. I'm not religious, but I'm open-minded. It's a small house, but the rent is affordable, and I don't need a big place. For context, the house is built around a small hallway, and everything is connected to it. My room is at the very end. I've never had any issues before, until about a month ago, and I think my kitty is picking up on it. There were a stray cat in the park close by that I started feeding. Eventually we grew close, so I adopted her and brought her home. I work from home, so I knew I'd be there to take care of her. The cat adapted really well, and I had her checked out by the vet. Everything is fine. I set my room up for her with food, water, a litter box, and toys. She's fairly old, and I have a suspicion that she used to be a house cat before. It only took a few days for her, and she started traversing my home soon after. She's really friendly too, despite being a little shy when it comes to strangers. A few days after I brought her home, I noticed a shadowy figure appearing in my hallway. Initially, I shrugged it off, but it's been happening too frequently in a short amount of time. The first incident happened 3 days after her adoption. I was working in my living room, and I spotted a large shadowy figure walking towards the living room from the hallway. My blood ran a bit cold, but when I turned to face it, there was no one there. At the end of the first week, I was cleaning up her litter box in my room. I saw the shadowy figure again in the corner of my eye in the hallway. When I looked, it disappeared. After the first week, I started noticing the shadowy figure more and more. Now, it feels like I'm losing my mind because I've been seeing it almost every night. To add to the insanity, I have the constant feeling of being watched. Even typing about it is making me feel uneasy. My cat's behavior also gradually changed during this past month. Like I stated earlier, she adapted really quickly. At the end of the first week, I woke up to her howling and hissing in the hallway. I checked on her and she was hissing at nothing. I froze a bit, but left the hallway light on and comforted her. The next week, the same thing happened. I don't have any other cats living in the house, and I live alone. This week, I had another terrifying incident, and this is what ultimately motivated me to write this post. I have a family portrait in the hall that I had to take down. I was giving some TLC kitty in my room, and when I looked up to the picture, I saw a shadowy figure behind my niece in the portrait. I could even see its eyes, like two white dots staring straight at me. This is when I knew for certain whatever I'm seeing is real. I'm not imagining things. I just closed my eyes and hoped it would go away. I started crying, shaking. I felt really cold, and even writing this is making me feel sick. Like I said, I'm not religious, but my mom is. So I called her and she prayed with me. I opened the Bible, but I didn't look back at the photo for as long as I could, and when I did, it was gone. I threw the photo away. Now, my cat is avoiding my hallway completely, and me too. I feel like a hostage. I'm leaving the hallway light on, and it helps, to an extent. Does anyone here have any advice? My mind is scrambled. I've been backspacing through this entire post. My mom thinks it's a demon or something, I don't know. I don't know what to think or do. Please help. Edit. I don't know if it's relevant, but I've been getting awful nightmares almost every night of me dying in some sort of accident, robbery, murder. Also, TLDR. I think there's a demon or a something in my hallway, and maybe my cat is picking up on it. I'd appreciate any help. I'm not religious, so I don't even know where to start. Sorry if this is all over the place. Thank you 123 Throwaway Gal, the author. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you already haven't, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any new episodes. See you again soon, and until then, please, be safe.